Yeah, here it is. Trump sides with H1B visa program. Hold on, let me move this up and pause, and then I'll reload it so you can see the thumbnails are just fucking magic over at Fox News. By the way, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, and a big thank you to our Patreons who've been with us since this show was started as the little show that could, and is now going to take over all the empty space left by the vacuous assholes at TYT who are gutting whatever faux legacy they had and their alleged progressive principles that were always a bunch of bullshit. I welcome everybody who are big TYT fans who were like, what the hell? This the hell? I'll tell you all about it. I've been saying it for a long time. You'll notice the total lack of surprise. Anyways, hit that like, share the show, support this show in some way, or even just by subscribing. Doesn't cost you anything. And there you go. I appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. Also, I don't even know if we can do bits on Facebook right now. They're being so weird. And there's the Venmo and the PayPal and the whatever and the other things I'm supposed to say. Never mind. Let's just do a show. So these two dickheads are. This is going to be fun. Can I just say that there's going to be a lot of dangerous and sad and broken things that this prick is going to mess up for a lot of decent people who didn't do anything to deserve the hell that is going to come their way. And so the one thing that we can enjoy, if we can have a popcorn moment, and I think we deserve them, is when these two assholes finally run afoul of each other. Now, some of us thought it would take a little longer. I'm not one of them, because you can see the cracks from the very beginning. And this guy definitely thinks he's president. And this guy is if he's wailing flowers, this is Madam. Trump seems to think the other way. He thinks he's wailing flowers, and this guy's another wailing flowers with a bigger hand. No, how does it? We'll figure it out later. But Trump sides with Elon Musk on H1B visas following criticism. A great program. This is on Fox and Friends.
Well, yesterday, you guys know we had quite a few discussions on the debate that's raging online right now about.
Yeah. We had a big. Oh, my God. The debate that's raging online. They mean Twitter.
H1B visas. And Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, coming out saying, hey, we need this. Our country needs this. Our companies need this. We need this to have this technological advantage over China and other countries. And other people saying, I'm not so sure. A lot of those H-1B visas are for coding, and they're sort of the grunt work of the tech industry. And there's a lot of Americans who would like those jobs, and we should be working on training them instead of replacing them with foreign workers who. Yeah,
but that Elon Musk is a foreign worker who came over here, worked illegally for a time, and used money from, basically the I guess it was emeralds, so blood emeralds, I guess, and apartheid to get a head start over American workers. Why would he have any loyalty to them? There are two classes of workers to Elon Musk: exploitable and replaceable. That's it.
Presumably we'll do it for cheaper. So that's the debate that's raging. And in the midst of that, someone has. Yeah, by the way, you would think that if these were the creme de la creme, that you would have to pay more for these folks. It's weird that you would we need these super smart, really good, driven, focused, excellent people that we can get on the cheap. Okay. It's found a quote from Donald Trump where he says he backs H-1B visas. Now, that would be contradictory to what he has said in the past.
No shit.
We'll have to get to the bottom of that, but here's what he...
Get to the bottom. Hey, lady, this is the bottom. That's if... You know how you know you're at the bottom? This guy's in charge of shit. That's the bottom. Congratulations, America. It's like an addict who's addicted to dipshittery. We have hit bottom. Let's see if we can enter recovery. The first step is admitting you have a problem. That guy's a problem. Get to the bottom of this. What do you mean get to the bottom of it? I mean, Sparks' razor being what it is, maybe he's just full of shit. Maybe, is it too simple? Is that too, that's why. He's a pathological liar and a Shinola salesman, dummy. Selling jars of shit. He's full of shit. It's bullshit. He's a bullshitter, lady. There's no bottom. This is it. That's how he rolls. Like a turd downhill.
He said on this, he said, the New York Post reported on Saturday, he said, I've always liked the visas. I've always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them. I have many.
Yes, we have H1B visas in America because Trump has always been in favor of them. What do you mean? You've been, since they were created, you were behind the creation of them in whatever, the 50s or the 70s or whatever the shit they were?
H1B visas on my properties. I've been a believer in H1B. I've used it many times. It's a great program.
Now, I am curious, and some of you may have seen this morning if you were with us, and if you weren't, I pity you. Welcome to the show. Like, subscribe, share the show out if you would. Let people know we're here, and whatever platform on that you're on in here, let us know, say hi, all that stuff. And if you could, while you're chatting, there's probably a comment section. Throw a comment on there if you feel like it, and that might kick us up a notch. But this is the part that stuck out to me. I have many H-1B visas on my properties. For what? For what? Yeah, that's what I thought. It was 1952. I thought I was saying 51, but I was pretty close. All right. Why? Why does this asshole need to hunt down highly skilled labor at Mar-a-Lago? What the fuck kind of job do they have at Mar-a-Lago doing anything that you can't hire out of any major university for? Which one? For real. It makes zero fucking maggots. There's got to be some maggots in there. Yo, maggots. Where are you trolling bastards? I know you're in here. I know you're lurking. Explain your fucking self. Explain to me what job at a golf course, even with an IT department, what the fuck kind of job could you have at any of the kind of properties he has that can't be found in the United States easily? What? Gophers? Caddies? Fucking somebody to work at the omelet bar? Seriously, you can't find fucking waiters? Yeah, fry cooks, toilet plungers, what the fuck? And again, the idea that you would need the best, the creme de la creme to work at any of these properties, and I'll tell you exactly which one. You want to know? Because I actually do know. I actually do know what he uses the H-1B visa thing for. Hot chicks from Eastern European countries to be like greeter staff and hostesses at these places because they're attractive. That's it. That's what he's doing. Because you can have these beautiful women who basically were probably more than likely high-end escorts where they lived, and this is a way better deal, even around this shit. And if anybody sexually harasses them, they can't say anything, because if they report it to HR, they'll get kicked out of the fucking country and have to go back to that shit. That's what it is. That's the only thing that you could argue is a job he can't find somebody in the United States to do. Not that there aren't beautiful women who will work in that industry. They just won't put up with this shit because they know they can't be, kicked out of the country. And here's what you ought to do. This might be the next step, Charlie Kirk and anybody at Fox and Friends. Here's a good idea. Make him list everybody on his staff that's over here on, you know, or not even the human beings, because I don't want them trolled or doxxed or any of that shit. Put up the fucking job, the title and the job description online for every H1B visa that motherfucker has. Freedom of Information Act. Because if a company is hiring overseas, then they should have to have a standard for why they're hiring and why they couldn't find him here. And if he's running for president or being the president running on this idea that he's pro-America, pro-worker, America first, all this horse shit, then maybe just a list. Somebody needs to ask him. Somebody with access needs to ask this dipshit for a list of all the jobs filled using H1B visas at all of his properties. He doesn't have to give the name of the people, but I would argue the job description, how they hired for it, and the sex, the gender of the person who got the job, maybe, right? And then I won't ask where they are because I don't want to get into, it's not their fault, right? They're lucky to do it. But maggots need to explain to all of us what the fuck kind of high-level, hacker they would need to work at Mar-a-Lago in the fucking basement. I mean, obviously, you're going to want a really high-level IT brainiac working in, say, Trump Tower, so that when your servers there that run the Trump organization stuff are pinging the Alpha Bank in Russia, and there are documents and maybe financial transfers or records of such transferring, back and forth, maybe just maybe, you might want, somebody high level that you can throw out of the country later. Maybe that's why. But admit it. I can't have a guy working on my servers that's an American. Dude might fucking whistleblow on me. Are you nuts? I need somebody who I can put the fear of Satan in. I need to have somebody working in my basement on my server that if they do anything wrong, not only to kick them out, but I'll make a phone call to buddies of mine in their country that got them hired in the first place, and their house will burn down. I gotta say, I'm gonna need a list.
This is I think, as we talked about yesterday.
And by the way, the stammering around this shit is gorgeous. The hesitant, what we're everybody's turning into Paul Manafort. Yeah, that's what what our position is.
It's such an important debate. It's happening entirely among Republicans.
Yes.
And within.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's a fight. There's not a conversation about H1B visas. There's always one about the standards in it with Democrats and Republicans and back and forth and all this stuff. That's ongoing. The fight that is happening is maggot on maggot, dum-dum.
Trump world. And obviously what he is talking about here is...
Obviously, yeah.
Is the fact that
totally
he's obviously defending the program.
He's obviously defending the program.
But what I also think is sort of interesting is that...
sort of interesting. But none of them want to talk about this.
He put into place in his first term a lot of restrictions that protected the program, that reformed the program.
A lot of restrictions that protected the program.
And of course, one of the first things Joe Biden did, including opening the border wide open to let lots and lots of unskilled labor into the country. That
didn't happen.
We have no control over. Also removed a lot of those reforms.
Like what? Like what? What was those? What were those reforms?
To the H1B visa program.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was the reform there? That anybody who gets one has to have a C cup or bigger.
So that it was open to widespread abuse.
And in fact, that's what Stephen Miller tweeted back in 2023, talking about the first Trump term and his position on H1B visas. He said Biden axed Trump admin H1B reforms, which eliminated its use for cheap labor, raised wages to stop displacement, outlawed substitution, and replaced H1B lotteries with high-paying offers, which precluded.
Yeah, the highest paying offer wins, which is, again, the people buying their way across. What's the difference between that situation where you don't have a lottery, where it's open to everybody so that everybody gets a shot, versus just rich assholes punching their way to the top and turning America into a gated community for like the oligarchs of the world?
Substitutions. Regs were scrapped, and now big tech is replacing Americans.
Yeah, you're on the site that is arguing for that very thing, stupid. Do you see Elon Musk arguing for the return to the Trump admin H1B reforms? Okay, hold on. I'm going to need to grab this. Let's see. Trump H1B reforms list. I don't know. Let's see what Visa Feud says about the coming Trump administration. Do you ban what are H1 visa and what has Trump said about them in the past? Full timeline. What visas? Trump weighs in, appears to side with Musk. Let's see. Biden's found among Trump's first challenge, H1B modernization. The Department of Homeland Security published a new regulation to modernize the H1B program. Okay, this is maybe where we're going. These are threatened amid Trump, and these are older ones. Happened in his first term. Because at this point, Trump sides with tech bosses and MAGA fight. What happened to H1B? Okay, here we go. Indian Express. Let's take a look at this. The go away. Cancel. Didn't know. Okay, so this is where you are. There you go. With Donald Trump set for victory, blah, blah, blah. What is that reform? I don't care. Oh, come on. Why am I don't want to sign in, why in the world? Past H1B value predict Trump's thing. Okay, so let's see if his reforms are listed in here. Trump administration published a restrictive. Yeah, here you go. So this is the thing. The Trump administration published a restrictive H-1B rule in 2020. A judge blocked the rule for violating the Administrative Procedure Act. Trump officials attempted to publish part of the rule again before leaving office, but ran out of time. The rule included numerous provisions to prevent companies from employing foreign-born scientists and engineers, such as changing who and what positions could qualify for an H-1B specialty occupation. If Biden officials prefer the H-1B rule to reflect their priorities, they must publish it soon and decide on its most controversial provisions. One significant measure in the proposed rule would narrow the positions considered H-1B specialty occupations by requiring a degree be in a directly related specific specialty or its equivalent. So you can't just have a degree in, English lit and then get hired over here as a programmer. For entering the occupation, the Trump administration used identical language in its restrictive interim final H-1B rule. The courts blocked. But I'm sorry, but he wants the same rule that Biden wants? What are you talking about? A National Foundation for American Policy found that 51% of U.S.-born individuals employed in computer occupation have degrees other than computer science or electrical engineering. Employers and university groups supported the rule extending gap protections for F1 students when changing to H-1B status, allowing more organizations to qualify as H-1B cap exempt nonprofit research institutions, granting more leeway for H-1B visa holders to become entrepreneurs, and codifying deference for prior finding of fact when adjudicating applications, which limit denials and requests for evidence. Increasing denials of H-1B visas and more immigration red tape. If Trump's second term is like his first time, employers can expect immigration officials to increase red tape by issuing new memos and policy guidance, regulations. Regulations. I guess they're going to have to cut a bunch about lead in the water and stuff around, FAA and how close planes can be upon landing so that they can afford to, add these regulations. So from 6% in fiscal year, they're going to 24% in 2018. Hold on. Trump officials raised the denial rate for H-1B petitions for individual employment or initial employment from 6% in 2015 to 24% in 2018 and 21% in 2019. After a legal settlement in June, denial rates dropped below previous Trump levels to 4% because they caught up with a bunch of people and they were letting people through, and 2.2 in 2022. Isn't that funny? Trump officials made it more costly to file for H-1B petitions because they want rich people to get in. A request for evidence increases uncertainty and adds $2,000 to $4,500 in attorney's fees. The request for evidence rate reached 60%. For H-1B petitions in the first quarter of 2019, but in fiscal year 2022, it fell to 10. Pricing H-1B visa holders and employment base. Okay, yeah. So basically, they just want rich people to be able to get in, and we don't want any poor people coming in. That's 100% what this is all about.
So Trump weighs in yesterday suggesting he supports H-1B visas.
No, saying he does. He doesn't suggest. He's not giving it a reach around. Giving it a pump and tickle, dum-dum. He said, I've always supported the visas. I love the visas. I use the visas, and I think it's a great program. He didn't suggest dipshit.
Now, in the past, he has looked for reforms to H-1B visas.
So that only rich people can use them.
On the surface, this issue, I don't think, has as deep a divide on the right as one might initially perceive. Meaning,
yeah, basically, if I may and I may not, it's, this, like, there's a lot. Can I make the I'm pretending to know what the fuck I'm talking about hand gesture? Encompassing it into a small thing, giving you the illusion that in this sphere, all of the information, all the confusing fits in this small ball of ignorance. And I was just going to, instead of like, it's a big fucking deal. It's not. It's not. Okay? It's not.
I think a lot of people on the right, including obviously Donald Trump.
Obviously.
And then Elon Musk, support the idea of bringing in whatever percentage it may be, 0.01%, whatever the number is.
Yeah, it's not 0.01%.
Highly, highly skilled people from across the world. The idea of...
Well, it's funny that you would bring up 0.01% because... the H1B visa, non-rich special designed for foreign nationals who can demonstrate extraordinary. That's the H1B visa. This is not the that 0.01% that you're talking about. There actually is a visa for them. The visa for, like, the H-1B isn't for the creme de la creme anyways. Dummy. This might be shocking, but Elon Musk is lying his ass off about what the H-1B visa is for in the first place. Jesus. 01 visa. That's the extraordinary special. We can't find anybody like this. Oh my God. It's Operation Paperclip as a visa program. God damn, these people are fucking stupid.
Bring your best. But
no, you are your best. You wouldn't bring it unless they're like, fuck, bro, we're going to bring it, bro.
The program can't be abused to box American workers out. That's been the perspective in the past of Donald Trump. And I suspect it will be the position of Donald Trump in the future. But the debate...
Why? What do you mean? Why? Sorry, Mr. She got a big old behind. I'd like to slather that with barbers. I don't know why he's turning into Champ on Anchorman. I can't get over the Anchorman references these days. Eventually he's going to change his mind. Why? Based on what, stupid?
It got deeper and it got more contentious on the cultural level. And for
no, just because maggots are racists doesn't mean this boiled down to culture. They're not worried about the best and brightest fucking I don't know, electrical engineers and satellite makers and rocket scientists are all going to be like members of ISIS. You fucked up. I can't. I'm fine. You fucked up pilot monkey. I can't. This is so stupid. Yeah, he's laughing because they're talking out of their ass.
For example, that's where I took some exception to what I thought Vivek Ramaswamy made a too sweeping indictment.
A too sweeping indictment about American culture and how we're a bunch of morons who only like sports and hot chicks. Like while he's at home studying, we're all out taking our muscle cars to college car washes where girls in cutoff jeans clean your car to the sounds of Warrant in the background. Pardon me while I enjoy that for a moment.
Of American culture. Elon, by the way, weighed in immediately after Trump.
Pretty soundly, by the way.
Pretty soundly. Well, Elon, this is
pretty soundly. He misquoted Tropic Thunder.
This is a quote from Tropic Thunder. Ish. He's memeing. Remember Tropic Thunder with
I don't know.
Robert Downey Jr.
Can we actually read the entire?
I don't know if we can do it. Let's try. Let's try.
Okay, where is it?
Let's do it. This is what Elon put on X. He said, "The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H1B." Go ahead, Charlie. You can quote Tropic Thunder.
You can take a big step back and have fun with yourself in the face.
Yeah. So that's what he said. He obviously feels very strong.
And by the way, it's F your own face in the movie.
Strongly about it. Listen, I want to get into the cultural stuff, but before that, remember the
Do you? Do you really want to get into it, stupid?
context about a lot of people were upset about the H1B visas were that famous story of Disney. Do you guys remember that? Where Disney was going to lay off these workers. These were some sort of software workers. And
oh my fucking God. She's going to quote the 60 Minutes thing again.
And then they said, listen, we're going to lay you off and you will not get your severance unless you train the people that come in. These were, foreign workers on this type of visa. And so that really, really upset a lot of Americans. And I believe that was the context around the conversation about abuses. And lots of people are weighing in on both sides of this. Obviously, Vivek and Elon very strongly on the side of getting more H1B visas, saying that we won't be competitive. The cultural side,
first of all, and Trump, stupid.
I think is fascinating. Well,
it's fascinating. What do you mean culture? Oh, you mean they're brown? That's what you mean?
Oh, and Charlie, I guess Vivek saying he thinks that we need to our culture has a problem with. Oh
God, I fucking love this. Just watch them just on thin ice. This whole fucking side, because on one side, of the glass below you, you got Trump and Musk, ready to swallow you up. It's like these. It's like ice water with a dragon in it, and you're like, whatever happens to me when it breaks through, it's gonna be bad. I'm either going to freeze to death or be eaten. And it's a thing. It's kind of a thing, We got to be real, because the cultural aspect of the culture. We have a cultural issue here.
Not prizing enough those who are valedictorians and academically, succeeding versus those who are the prom queens and the quarterbacks, I guess.
Right. You mean most of the people that are hired at Fox News?
What I think they kind of wandered into, and
it's just so good.
Neither Vivek nor Elon Musk, I think, appreciate sort of the nuances and just how.
Yeah, it's the nuances. That's what it is. You're absolutely right. It's the nuances. It's not them just taking a giant Stanley steamer on top of American culture that this entire fucking network sells as true America to its viewers every goddamn day. It's not that. It's the subtle. It's the nuances. It's the grayish, browny, caramel, shadowy, not quite. It's the offset, small. Jesus Christ.
What a sore spot this is for a lot of Americans, because of course it wasn't just Disney. You could go through, in every industry going back 30 years and find examples of where American workers were forced to train their replacements as they.
Yeah, but stupid, there's a huge difference. Hold on, wait the fuck out. Hold on. If you're moving the factory to another country and you have to train the people who are going to use it, the factory is gone. This is very different. It's still shitty, but this is hugely different than we're shutting the factory down, we can't make a profit on it. It's completely profitable. You're already there. You're already doing your job. We're going to bring somebody in to do exactly the same job from another country, pay them half, and then they get no benefits, and then they get kicked out when you're done. So their job is happening in the United States. Good Lord.
Unbolt their machinery and send it to China.
Right. Yeah, the factory's gone. You don't have to drive you can drive past the empty building where nobody is, but you're certainly not going to drive by there and see an H1B visa holder sitting at your fucking desk. There is a very distinct difference why it might be, I don't know, touchy.
And one thing I have to say, though, that I think is interesting,
yeah, it's interesting. It's so interesting. That's interesting. Excellent.
Steve, I've known Steve Miller since back when he was on Capitol Hill working for
Nostradamus,
for Jeff Sessions, and he's always been one of the smartest.
What is the requisite that they all look like they have? Anybody who works for Jeff Sessions has to look like they work and live in a tree.
People, and most devoted to reforming immigration.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Stephen Miller is devoted to reforming immigration. I mean, just way to just wrap it up. It's poetry, is what it is. It's never been clearer.
And there are few people that
he's not a vampiric bigot. He's just really committed to reforming immigration. Yeah, it's like Hitler was really committed to reforming the concept of showers.
I know who know more about this and care more about it, which of course is why Trump values him so much.
Right.
And if there's a guy that understands where that line is between valuing the best of the best, the cream of the crop from other places, and finding.
Yeah, that wouldn't be about H1Bs. That would be entirely about O1 visas. Not even the conversation. Anybody who can do an H1B job, there's people in the United States. You're not looking for somebody to run the company. You're not bringing over a CEO. Shut the fuck up.
A way to, use them in America.
Use them in America.
Versus just looking for cheap labor.
Right.
Because all of it is kind of geared towards looking for cheaper labor.
Right.
Really? What do you know? And Trump is for it, you say? Yeah, he's for it.
And
Charlie, nobody's against importing another Elon Musk.
Right.
Elon Musk is.
We'll take more of those.
Right.
That would be an O1 visa. That's not these visas at all. Stupid. Hey, do you know any of the people who work at SpaceX or Twitter or even Tesla in the mid-level management or engineering department, lady? Do you know a single fucking one? Those are the H-1B visa levels. You can't find Americans to do those jobs? Bullshit. I call bullshit.
However, if there are Americans who can do the job, let's have that.
I'm Steve.
If, do you even America first, bro? If, she says, fucking if. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a glorious, glorious thing.